Alright, I'm going to talk here about a city that I have a particular disdain for. And this is a city where my disdain for it actually predates mass immigration, mass third world immigration and multiculturalism. And that city is Los Angeles. Why am I not a big fan of Los Angeles? Well, if you look at it, it's actually the anti-city. It's a city that was essentially designed to not be a real city. It's very decentralized, it's sprawling, and there's just not much of a sense of urbanism. Like you don't have very much density, and it really just kind of defeats the entire point of having a city when you make it in a way that there's not that much city life. Like from what I've seen of LA, it's very sprawling. I've been there only once, and I wasn't quite in the center of the city. Like I went to Universal Studios. I was staying in, I think, Glendale or Burbank, and I took a little walk around the neighborhood. It was kind of just suburban. I we drove around in Hollywood a bit. We did not get out of the car there though, so we saw a bit of the city, and from what I saw of it, the whole thing, it has this very abortion kind of feel, like it's neither here nor there. It doesn't have the kind of density and street life to function like a real dense city would, like a city like say New York or San Francisco or Boston. It doesn't have that kind of dense city vibe, but it also is still too crowded and has too much traffic to really have that kind of low density suburban feel in a nice way. So what it is this kind of awkward median that's neither of the two. Um, it neither has the kind of quiet charm of the suburbs, nor the kind of dense, alive feel that a big city is supposed to have. Um, so really, what is it? It's an abortion. I mean, I'm sure it's a nice place insofar as like, I guess the climate is nice if you like that kind of climate. From what I've seen, there's not that many parks. There's not that many trees. I mean, I look at it from a satellite view, and there just don't seem to be too many parks. And the parks there are, they don't seem to be too wooded. It seems to be like the terrain seems to be almost semi-arid, I guess you could say. I like trees, I like parks where you can go and be under shade. I'm a white person, so I like shade. Um, Now, I don't like there to be an excessive amount of trees on the streets necessarily, especially if it's an area with nice architecture. I like to be able to see the buildings. And that's another thing in LA, there's not too much architecture to speak of. Like, if you go to San Francisco, the architecture is much better. Like, sure, San Francisco, call it San Francisco, San Francisco, whatever. Like, don't get me wrong, it is a den of vice and hedonism. But at the same time, as a city, like from an urbanism perspective, San Francisco is a much better city than Los Angeles. Um, Los Angeles is just poorly designed. Like the freeways are horrendous in terms of the amount of traffic, and it just sprawls on everywhere. And the downtown is a shithole from what I understand about it. Like it's all these Mexicans. There are parts of the downtown that look third world, and there's not very much uh, city life in a kind of cultural sense, in any kind of non-third world sense. So really, Los Angeles, sure, it's gotten much shittier as a result of uh, cultural Marxism and mass immigration, all that. But when I see what Los Angeles, even what it used to be like before that, it never really looked like that great of a place. In terms of like as a city. So that's my feelings on Los Angeles.